The Oura ring versus the UltraHuman ring. I've been wearing both smart rings for the past 30 days, every single day, and here is the comparison. Starting off with the physical ring. First, the Oura ring. The Oura ring is a bit thicker. However, it feels more sturdy and not very plasticky. It feels like a really good, sturdy jewelry piece. It has held up super well. It still is shiny if I clean it. There are bumps on the inside, however, so if your ring is tight on you, you might feel them. I do have it in silver because certain finishes are more expensive, and there are two different designs. I have the cheaper design where it has this flat piece. The more expensive design, there's two designs total, is just one smooth ring all the way around. And the Oura ring is heavier. It weighs about 4 to 6 grams. The UltraHuman ring, it is a thinner ring, less bulky. However, I do think it feels more plasticky. It has held up well as well, but you can see more wear and tear and a few scratches on the UltraHuman ring compared to the Oura ring. The interior, there's no bumps. It is completely smooth all the way around. And I do have it in gold. Gold was my preference. All of the finishes are the same price, which is really nice. It is a smaller and more lighter ring. Depending on the size, it ranges from only 2.4 to 3.6 grams. I really do think both are very cute and very stylish. They come in multiple different finishes, so you'll definitely see at least one option that you want or you'd like or you'd wear. And I will say the sizing on them is different. For example, I have a 6 in the UltraHuman ring and a 7 in the Oura ring. So if you do order one of them, definitely make sure to get their free sizing kit first. If you don't know what I mean, I have videos on both the Oura ring and the UltraHuman ring with the first week with them, unboxing, review, all of that. And when you order online straight from their website, you get the sizing kit sent to you first. You try on different sizers, then you let them know what size you want, and then they ship you the actual ring. So take advantage of that because the sizing is not always exactly what your ring size might be. It might be, but it might not be. The battery life. Honestly, both have really, really awesome battery lives. They both come with a free charger. They take around the same amount of time to charge from dead to a full battery, and they both last around 5 days. The Oura ring has a little bit longer of a battery life, but not much to really make a difference. They both have really awesome battery lives. The price. The Oura ring ranges from $299 all the way up to $549 depending on the size and the finish you choose. The UltraHuman ring is $349 regardless of size or finish, and it's only one style. There's not two style options. Of course, they both come with a free charger. You can pay for a wireless charger for the UltraHuman ring if you want, and you can get your ring engraved, which you would also pay for that, but that is an option on their website. The kicker here, the Oura ring does have a subscription fee. It's about $6 a month or about $70 per year, depending which route you go. And the UltraHuman ring has no fee, which of course I really like. I feel like everything is a subscription model these days and it gets annoying, especially because it's okay, an Apple Watch you don't have to pay a fee for. Other fitness trackers don't always have a subscription fee, so it's kind of annoying that for Oura, you have to pay $6 a month just to access your data, whereas the UltraHuman ring, no fee. They are both sold on, of course, their websites, but also Amazon, and they both have the free sizing kits. Neither of them have free shipping. Before we get into all the data, the overview of the app, again, on my first videos, of course, they will be all in the description box, but I go into detail what the app looks like and all of the data for the Oura ring or the UltraHuman ring, all of that, whatever. I will say I really do like the layout of the Oura ring much better than the UltraHuman ring. Oura, it's very nice to read. Everything is on a separate tab. Your homepage is different from if you just want to look at your sleep, just want to look at your activity, or only your stress, only your resilience. All of it is very separate, which I really, really like. It feels organized. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. It's super easy to find. Oura actually just had a huge update on the layout of their app as I'm editing this, so it looks a little bit different than my screen recordings. However, what I'm saying about it is still true about the ease of the layout, everything separate, etc. The UltraHuman ring, the app just isn't as nice, in my opinion. It's pretty much user-friendly. You're gonna be able to find all your data, but you go to the main page and you scroll through just about everything. It's not as separated as the Oura ring. And honestly, that does matter to me because I don't want to have to be scrolling and searching for data. I want to just be able to know, oh, this is under my sleep tab. Let's go to my sleep tab, click it, read it, analyze, whatever. For both apps, there is so much data, and if you have a metric or whatever, you can always click on it and it'll expand. It'll tell you, is it good? Is it bad? Why is it this way? Tips to get it, at a better stat, whatever. There's so much information on both apps. I just like the organization of Oura better. That being said, the UltraHuman ring, could have updates to the app to make it better, or is, what I would consider as better. You know, apps can change and things can develop and whatnot. Not saying that I'm making this video saying I'm not a fan of the app. They're gonna see it and be like, wow, we're gonna change the entire layout of the app. I'm not saying that. But there's always room for improvement, and this isn't the end all be all, right? I think that data matters more than just like what the app looks like, but I do care about what the app looks like. Okay, next, into everything that they track, all the analytics, all of that. If you want a deep dive, again, reference my other videos. But for the comparison, what I did is I went through both apps and I wrote down every single thing that it measures, and I cross-referenced to see what one app might have and one app doesn't. Both rings track all things sleep, activity, recovery, stress, so many analytics to do with those things. I'm not gonna go over literally every single variable that each ring tracks because it would take me a year to explain it all. And if you want a deep dive, of course, my other videos have literally screen recordings of the entire apps. Right away, I'll go over what the Oura ring has that the UltraHuman ring doesn't, and then switch vice versa. A lot of this data is tracked in the opposite ring, but almost just in a different metric or a different format. You'll see as we go along. So the Oura ring, it shows your previous day activity. So it'll rank your recovery based on yesterday's activity and also your activity balance. So how do your last few days reflect in how you feel today? It also adjusts your goal active calorie burn and your goal progress and all of that every day depending on your readiness. So if you slept really, really poorly the night before, you know, maybe your goal calorie burn is only going to be 200 calories, whereas if in your really good shape, it'll be 400 plus, etc. So it always has a goal on your activity tab, depending on how it thinks you feel, on how much you should burn that day, how active you should be that day. With the new app update, you have the option for it to set your goal progress in terms of the amount of calories it wants you to burn, or you can set it to be a number of steps it thinks you should hit for the day, and you can turn the calorie number off if that is a toxic stat to you. And I love that the goals are always changing because it's really helping your body perform optimally. It doesn't want you to overdo it or underdo it for that matter. Of course, both count your steps, but the Oura ring has your walking equivalency in miles, if you care about that. It has your recovery time, so it takes track of how many days out of your week were like easy days on your body versus not, and how well you recovered from how your days have been going. It has your resilience level, so, you know, taking into consideration your stress and your recovery, how resilient your body is, how ready it is to bounce back, things like that. And I really do like the stress graph that the Oura ring comes with. I really like that graph and I actually reference it quite a bit. Now into the UltraHuman ring, one major thing it has right in the app that's really awesome is it does have cycle tracking. I just recently enabled it and it's right at the top of your screen. It's super awesome. I'll open the app. It'll literally tell me what phase of my cycle I'm in, and you can click on it and get more information. It's free right in the app and I just love it. Oura ring, you can sync it with Natural Cycles, which is another app, and then you can track your cycle through there. But then you have two different apps, and then now you have two different subscriptions you have to pay, and it's just more complex. So I really, really love the fact that not only the UltraHuman ring doesn't have a monthly fee, but it has cycle tracking right within the app, and that is something I'm really gonna be using this ring for, because that is something very important to me, and not just for my overall health, but also like it's a form of birth control. You know, if you are looking for optimal times to get pregnant or avoid getting pregnant, you know, like you look for your ovulation phase and like all this stuff. And I do feel like knowing where you are in your cycle really helps you understand your body, especially as someone who has regular cycle and is not on hormonal birth control. I feel like it really helps me understand, you know, why I'm feeling a certain way. So that right within the app is huge for me. The UltraHuman ring also has this restorative sleep function where it compares your deep sleep and your REM sleep to figure out how much your body has restored overnight. It tells you your sleep cycles and your partial sleep cycles. So of course the Oura ring measures, you know, your different phases of sleep, but it doesn't go into your cycles, whereas the UltraHuman ring will tell you, oh, you've had this many full complete sleep cycles, because if you didn't know, your sleep patterns are kind of go in cycles throughout the night. And it'll tell you if you've had partial cycles as well. More into your sleep, it'll tell you how many tosses and turns you've had, which I think is kind of crazy. It tells you your sleep debt, so you know how much sleep you lost if you were up in the middle of the night, went back to bed, things like that. And of course, this you can measure on the Oura ring. It's just not right in front of your face. It doesn't tell you, hey, you lost this much sleep last night. You would have to look and see how much time you were awake. So see, it gets a little confusing because some of these things you can understand on both apps, but some are just more clear than others. But along with the the UltraHuman ring and sleep. It'll also give you your recommended sleep duration. For example, I didn't sleep very well last night, so tonight it's telling me, hey, you should really aim for like, I think it's like 9.5 hours of sleep tonight. And will I get that? I don't know. But it wants me to because it thinks that that's the amount of time that my body needs to recover and get to a better state tonight because of my poor sleep last night. It also gives you your morning alertness, which is basically transitioning from sleep to being awake, how alert you are. You know, when you wake up in the morning, are you waking up really groggy or are you waking up and like ready to go? It'll give you a metric for that. And again, all of these things on both rings, you can click on and expand. If you don't understand what something means, you can click on it and it'll tell you exactly what you need to know. The UltraHuman ring has SMART goals. So just like I mentioned how the Oura ring has different goal progresses for your calorie burn, you know, based on your recovery. So it has steps, active hours, active minutes, sleep early, wake up early, sleep duration, workout minutes, sleep cycles, and phase advanced activity. One thing I really don't like actually that I noticed is, for example, I didn't sleep really well last night, but it still wants me to get 11,000 steps in for the day.
You can go in and edit these goals and change them. Say you want a different step goal for each day or a different amount of active minutes each day depending on your lifestyle, but they don't auto change each day depending on your other stats. So you can change them to achieve more SMART goals that are more realistic to you, but again, they don't auto adjust.
And I'm thinking like, if I didn't sleep that well, should I be moving that much? And maybe that's not asking for a lot, but I noticed that my step goal never changes. And the other day, you know, when I slept really well, it still wanted me to get 11,000. So I'm like, should that be different? I don't know. Both apps have a lot of cool things within them in terms of like educational tools, and you can do breath work, you can log activity and meditations, things like that. They have a lot of, you know, exploration and learning and all of that fun exercises in their apps. Oura has its own blog. UltraHuman has its own podcast. So they both have a lot of cool add-ons. The Oura ring, however, allows you to try experimental features before they're released on the app and give your feedback. And it has different research studies that you can read about, which are interesting. The UltraHuman ring does have more features. For example, it has workouts right within the app. It has focus music. It even has bedtime stories, which I thought was kind of cute and funny, and different soundscapes. And there are so many add-on things. They call them power plugs. So just like I added on cycle tracking, you can add on different things like watching your screen time, your vitamin D intake, circadian alignment, your caffeine window, pregnancy insights. So all of these things you can enable within the app, and then it'll tell you, you know, if you're doing the caffeine one, for example, like, hey, this is when you should last have your, you know, caffeine for the day. This is how caffeine affects your body. So there's a lot of cool things that you can add on and play around with. They're all free as well, just like the cycle tracking. So, you know, when you first get the app, it's not on there because, you know, maybe you're a guy and you don't do the cycle tracking. But I went into the power plugs. I said, hey, I want to use this. It added it to my homepage. Now it's getting to know my body and it's giving me those analytics, right? If you don't consume caffeine, well, you don't need the caffeine window. But if you do, you can enable that feature and it'll give you recommendations. So there's a lot of cool things that you can add on that are all for free. There are some paid ones. For example, you can pay for cardio adaptability, AFib detection, and glucose monitoring. None of those really matter to me in my body, at least right now, so I don't pay for any of those, but those are the only things that you would have to pay for if you want to use the UltraHuman ring for it. And then features coming soon, they're gonna have something to do with jet lag, weight loss, and ovulation, which is super cool. Both rings you can sync to other apps. You know, say you have a nutrition app or a fitness app or something that you like to use, you can check and see if it syncs with those because a lot of them do pair up, which is super cool. So that's all of what one app has and the other app doesn't have. If I went over every single variable for both apps, again, it would take me forever and you'd probably get so confused and lost and it wouldn't make any sense. And a lot of those details might seem minor, but maybe there was something that stuck out to you that you're like, oh wait, I would want the Oura ring because of this, or the UltraHuman ring because of this, whatever. The accuracy, however, we have to talk about the accuracy. The Oura ring is so insane for how much it over calculates my steps. And I know it's not just me because I've done a comparison with my iPhone health app and of course with the UltraHuman ring too. I even ran polls though on my Instagram saying, hey, if you have the Oura ring, like, are your steps over calculated, do you think? And almost everyone said yes. So just know that if you're getting the Oura ring for your steps, it's probably not going to be accurate.
Oura literally just released their Gen 4 ring after I filmed this video, so I would hope there are updates to make the steps more accurate. I don't know that for a fact. I obviously don't have the ring, but just keep that in mind. I do have the Gen 3 and they like literally just launched the Gen 4. I also don't know the time period between when 3 and 4 came out because I don't want this to be something that you feel like you have to get every new generation and you have to keep up with, because again, that was just annoying and expensive.
And the reason I don't like that is because I really want to be burning fat, and it's like for that, your steps and how much you move in a day actually do matter, because if you want to burn fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. That's just how it works. And so I want to know how much I'm moving in a day so that I can kind of gauge my eating to be less calories than that, right? And I don't live my life exactly to a T to these apps and to my rings, but it does matter. And if it's a few hundred calories off, like that does make a difference at the end of the day. And I might be misled. I might be thinking I'm going towards these goals when I'm actually not, because my move is so high on the Oura ring, because my steps are so high, when it's not in reality. So it really has a problem with over calculating your steps, which is so annoying in my opinion. I do think it's really, really awesome for my sleep though. Every time I look at my sleep, it seems to be right on with what I feel for the night. The UltraHuman ring, on the other hand, with these two things, I think the steps are way, way more accurate. If anything, maybe even a little under prediction. Again, just because I've been comparing it with my iPhone health app and things like that.
For a specific example, I took these screenshots in each app at the end of one day, and the discrepancy in the step count is like literally double from one to the other. It's quite insane.
But the UltraHuman ring is far more accurate with your steps than the Oura ring. Whereas I almost wonder if the sleep is a little off with the UltraHuman ring. The only reason I say that is because literally yesterday I got out of bed at like 6:32 and I looked at my app and it said I was sleeping till 6:45. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you should know better, because the UltraHuman ring measures so many different things about your sleep. So I'm like, oh, did I just catch a bad day? Like, what was off about that? And I don't think it's always that inaccurate. Like, I would never say like, oh, my sleep tracker is way off. I would never say that. But I do think I want to give the steps accuracy to UltraHuman ring and the sleep accuracy to Oura ring. Overall, the UltraHuman ring does seem like it has more data, and I do think the Oura ring is more based in recovery. Like, just the vibe I get and how it adjusts your burn and your move and all of that, I do feel like the Oura is like really focused on like recover, whereas I do wish that the UltraHuman ring, you know, adjusted my goals day to day, which it doesn't really seem to do that. Honestly, both rings give you so much data and they're both pretty accurate. There are a few things that could be better, I think. And the biggest thing that does bother me really is just the steps with the Oura ring. No matter which ring you do go with, if you are looking to purchase one, they are super awesome. And I've made several videos about these rings before, and I will always say they are a luxury, not a necessity. You know, this is not gonna change your life if you're, you know, someone who doesn't care about health at all. You know, just by getting this ring, you're not gonna like whip yourself into shape, and you can 100% live without it, right? Like, you don't need one of these, but I do love having it. I think they're cute. I like that I can wear it with other jewelry. They don't feel bulky. I'm not a watch wearer. They're just a good tracker for me personally, I think, and I do really like them. And no matter which one you go with, like, you're gonna get a lot of good data. You're gonna be happy with it. They're both really awesome. But take into consideration the differences, the price, the subscription features, things like that. I really hope that helps you understand which one aligns more with your goals. The differences in the rings aren't necessarily night and day, but maybe one thing did stick out that made you sway to whichever. I do think the pricing is much, much better for the UltraHuman ring, of course. I do not have a discount code or anything with the Oura ring, unfortunately, but I can offer you 10% off the UltraHuman ring. So if you do end up purchasing that, I will have a link to give you 10% off your purchase, which is really nice. But that is how they compare. It's interesting, like, going into this video, I really thought I was Oura ring all the way, but the more I think about it, I kind of think I'm slowly more and more team UltraHuman. Let me know what you think. Again, both super awesome brands, both super awesome devices. Everything will be in the description box. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you in my next one.